the Lake District 15 million, the Peak District 40 million, the Yorkshire Dales 4 million, and Lancashire? Why is no one visiting Lancashire? In this short film, we are going to discuss why this beautiful county, nestled between three of England's finest national parks, is often overlooked. I've been coming here for a good number of years now, to Langden Brook here in the Forest of Bowland. It really is a true hidden gem. Who would have thought it? Something so beautiful in Lancashire. It's funny because I don't think the locals really want this place revealing. They don't want it sharing all over the internet. They don't want it to go viral. They just want it for themselves, and who would blame them? It's absolutely beautiful here. So I'm here during prime heather season. It's the perfect time of year for photography. Everything's just looking wonderful and purple. And just wait till we get higher up on the fell. It's going to blow you away. And a reminder, this is still Lancashire. So what is it about the national parks surrounding Lancashire, whether it be the Lake District, the Yorkshire Dales, or even the Peak District? They seem to get way more numbers than Lancashire. And all right, whilst they are national parks, that's quite attractive, there's still a lot to like about Lancashire. So what's wrong with our county? Whilst there is no real data for me to back my claim about Lancashire being dead, the reality is you only have to visit these places and go walking in these areas to see the kind of numbers that they're attracting. Yes, there are one or two hotspots in Lancashire, such as Pendle Hill and arguably the Tolkien Trail. These do attract big numbers, but other than those hotspots, there's no one really here walking in Lancashire unless you're from the county itself. So what's going on? The reality is Lancashire sits right in the middle of three of the most popular national parks in England. Whilst millions head to the lakes, the peaks or the dales, Lancashire is often overlooked, even though people drive straight through Lancashire to get to those places. Why don't they just stop? For example, the amount of people that pass through the Forest of Bowland en route to get to the lakes or the dales, they just don't even know this place exists. And yet just look at this place. It's absolutely stunning. In reality, the Forest of Bowland does attract around 300,000 to 400,000 visitors a year, but compared to 15 million in the Lake District, there's no comparison. I think part of Lancashire's problem is down to branding. At the end of the day, if you don't position yourself well, whether it be on the internet, in magazines, people just won't know what you should be known for. They'll have an idea and they'll just run with it. They'll think that's what you're known for. For example, Lancashire, you're probably thinking pies, I don't know, hot pot food, Blackpool Tower, I don't know, whereas the Lake District, like for me, I do think of it as amazing walking terrain, incredible dramatic landscapes, history, culture. Yes, there are other things available there. There's touches of luxury and whatnot, but ultimately you know what it's known for. In fact, it would be really interesting to hear your thoughts on this. Like, how do you perceive the Lake District, the Yorkshire Dales? I don't want you to give me horrible critiques. I don't want you to just put traffic, people, I don't know. Don't give me that congestion. Just tell me in the comments, like, when you think of the lakes, what do you think of? And the reality is, when it comes to Lancashire, we're struggling in that department. I know for a fact that scenes like this will definitely help position Lancashire in a better light. I always take the most challenging route. Talking of challenging routes, look, whilst the Lake District, yes, it has some incredible walks in the mountains, don't underestimate these hills in Lancashire, I tell you. Some good ones, and there's some steep ones as well. Here's the plot twist. Lancashire is just as beautiful as those places. The difference is, it's not shouting about it. Not yet, anyway. The walks here are just as breathtaking, the views can be just as dramatic, and yet here you'll rarely find a crowd. Just peaceful trails, untamed coastlines, and a quiet, rugged charm. Lancashire isn't just beautiful, it's a UK hidden gem. Shh, don't tell everyone. If you're a Lancashire lover just like me, it'd be great to hear where you tend to visit in this county. Let me know in the comments below. I think growing up in a small rural village here in Lancashire, growing up on a farm, it's really helped me appreciate the great outdoors and everything this county has to offer. Better still, you don't just have to stay in Lancashire for a day. There are loads of businesses offering glamping, camping, luxury lodges and more. I've been very lucky to have worked with a number of small businesses in Lancashire this past couple of years, a lot of them within the hospitality sector, And I can tell you now that whilst their service is incredible, there's so many things available, it's the people. I've really enjoyed working with the people, and that's a big plus to Lancashire. You've still got a lot of local people living here, whereas you could argue in places like the Lake District, there's not a lot of locals left. I've also had the pleasure of working with a number of farmers this past few years, and what I've really started to realise is just how many farmers really care about their land, sustainable agriculture. They really do want to protect their farming for future generations. And yeah, it's just really inspiring to see what they're all up to. And again, they're such lovely people. They're open to people walking through their farms, whether it be on walks, days out, whatever. And a lot of these farms are having to diversify to bring in extra income. And so you can actually visit them, whether it be places like End Alpacas. They do alpaca walking through their farm fields in the Forest of Bowland, and many others. We also get the weather here in Lancashire. I think what really surprised me when I started to look into the tourism figures for Lancashire was just how many people visit Blackpool. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Blackpool Tower, a bit of cotton candy and all the tacky things that you can get in Blackpool. It's a great day out. The reality is it should not make up the majority of our tourist visitors. It just shouldn't. There's so much more this county has to offer. In fact, if you're interested, I have an ebook which is free to download, and it suggests 25 things to do in Lancashire. So do have a look at that. I'll leave a link for it in the description below. Of course, if you do choose to visit Lancashire and you spend some money in our county, it's going to help with keeping people in jobs. You know, it all helps with the economy here. And I don't think places like the Lake District are really needing your money right now, whereas some businesses in Lancashire, they always will. This is also food, so pubs, cafes. In fact, if you are a bit of a foodie, you may want to check out Bowland and Bay. Katie takes people on some incredible food tours, introducing a lot of visitors to the county to food that they just wouldn't know existed. You know, she takes you to the little corners, the little nooks around the county, and you get to taste some amazing food. So do check out Bowland and Bay. I'll leave a link for them in the description if you like. And of course, not forgetting, there are some fantastic local breweries in Lancashire. One that springs to mind is Bowland Brewery. Boxer Blonde is my favourite from their collection. Talking of beverages, I'm going to head down to Langden Castle here in the valley. I'm going to make myself a brew. Come on, I'll pop the kettle on. And this is the tea of the moment for me, Lapsang Suchan tea by Taylor's. It's proper smoky as this one. It smells like a campfire. It also strangely tastes like one, but it tastes really good, honestly. You should try it sometime. A brew with a view. Oh, just got a nettle sting then. Hope it was worth it for that shot. Anyway, now we've got our brew, let's chat about the problem that I think Lancashire needs solving, and that is awareness. The reality is, all those places that are doing really well around Lancashire, they've all got people visiting, influencers, you know, content creators if you like, and they're all shouting about their experiences, their days out in those areas. And on social media especially, it's working. It's driving a hell of a lot of traffic, congestion as well, of course. You've got to take the rough with the smooth. But certainly this past few years with platforms like Instagram, TikTok, there are so many content creators that are brilliant at creating viral sensations, hidden gems, hotspots for people to visit. And it's definitely worked for, like I say, driving traffic. So I think Lancashire ultimately needs it as well. The tourism side of things, we need more people, more content creators visiting Lancashire and promoting the area. Now obviously I do that. I actually do it for a living. I work with small businesses in the hospitality sector in tourism, and my goal is to help them reach more people on social media. So of course, if you are a small business and you're looking to drive more awareness for what you've got to offer, your area, whether it be Lancashire or beyond, and you're just looking for some advice, do give us a shout and I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction. But right now, I just think Lancashire needs more champions, more heroes, people who are good at showcasing what's on offer here, because we've got a lot. We've got so much going for us. We just need more people shouting about it. But that's just what I think. Of course, if you're a content creator like myself, get yourself to Lancashire. What have you got to lose here? It's absolutely beautiful. And start showing what the county's got to offer. Maybe reach out to some small businesses in the hospitality sector especially, whether it be food, accommodation, activities. See if there's a way to collaborate and you promote them, and obviously they'll gift you an experience. It's definitely worth it. We just need more people doing it. So next time you're visiting the lakes or the Dales, why not take the road less travelled instead and visit Lancashire? Trust me, it'll be worth it. Thanks for watching today's film, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good old Lancashire, eh?